Hi, my name's Cody.
Hi, my name's Luke, and myself and Cody are going to be taking you today through a little volleyball session. Okay, so obviously, as you guys know, anyone who's played volleyball before, it's usually a game that has 6 people in each team, so 2 teams, 6v6, or 12 people altogether. But obviously, being in lockdown, we tailor it down so you guys can try it at home, whether you try with brothers, sisters, and of course, people that are only in your bubble, not anyone from outside your bubble. Okay, so volleyball contains mainly 3 different shots. You've got our dig, our set, and our spike, okay, which we're going to take you through very shortly. But Cody's going to take us through the next bit nice and quick.
Okay, guys, so basically, just for you guys at home, a few things. Me and Luke are doing this together. We have sanitized the equipment, we've sanitized our hands. Obviously, this is our bubble in work, so we're okay. But for you guys at home, we don't want you to do this with people outside your bubble. We want this to be done with, like Luke said, with your brother, your sister, your mum, your dad. Get everybody involved, because it's not just for you guys. We want everybody in the house to get active, stay fit and healthy. So make sure you're only doing it with people from your household, guys. Apart from that, we're just going to show you the 3 shots now. Well, 2 shots we're going to show you that we use, okay?
One more thing as well is obviously a lot of times we do these videos, we try and tailor it so that you guys can do it at home. So obviously we know people haven't got volleyballs knocking about the house. If you have, great. But we've altered it so we can use balloons. Okay, so we've got some balloons we found in Fire Pit. We're going to use these today. It's going to be very easy. Of course, they're very soft. They're not going to damage anything, especially if you're using them at home. Okay, so that is an alternative. If you haven't got a volleyball, obviously, even if you are at home, I'd use a balloon anyway, if you can get some from, Tesco's, anywhere like that. Okay, so we're going to go quickly now through the 3 main shots. So Cody's going to take us through the first one. Okay, I'm going to take us through the first one. Okay, so I'm going to take us through the dig. Okay, so the dig is basically like a recovery shot. So after someone has served the ball over to your side where your team is, all you're going to do is you're going to dig the ball. So all you're going to do is at home, you have both hands out in front, cross all your fingers together, 2 thumbs facing down, and all we're aiming to hit the ball is here by our wrist. Okay, so thumbs facing down, and as you can see now, I'm going to do a little example. Pretend the ball's come over to me, someone's just served it, it comes down, and I just dig it straight back up, okay? The aim, of course, is I dig this ball up to someone on my team, someone then sets it to someone else, and they spike it down, we try and get the point, okay? But obviously, if you're just going to try these at home as well, just have a little practice, getting the technique right. As we said, 2 hands together like so, both thumbs facing down to the floor or out in front, and you're just going to try and connect with the ball roughly where your hand meets your arm, your wrist right there, okay? So we're going to do one more little practice go. So the ball's come over, in the position, straight up, okay? One thing that does make this a little bit easier, okay? We're not going to stand like this, just straight body, just moving our arms. Bend your knees, feet shoulder width apart, okay? So when that ball comes over, as we do in most sports, you've got to adjust your body. Okay, as soon as you adjust that body and you get into the position, knees slightly bent, shoulder width apart. As the ball comes down, you're meeting that ball, you need to just lower your body as well, okay? You lower your body, and as you bounce up, that's when you try and make contact with the ball. And obviously, as we said, in an actual game, you're trying to dig it to a teammate, but in this go, when you're going to do it at home, if you're, for example, your dad or your brother is throwing you the ball, just try and hit it back to them so they can catch it just above their head. Okay, Cody's going to take us through the next one.
Okay, so as Luke said, that was the dig shot. That's the first shot that we were doing the sequence in volleyball. The second one is called the set shot, okay? So for setting the ball, we're going to make a W with our hands, okay? So the idea is when the ball comes down from a dig that Luke just showed us, so like this, he's going to try and hit the ball really high in the air, okay? The reason so is it gives the next person more time to react for the next shot, okay? So the idea of this shot also is to get the ball really high so someone can spike the ball back. So like I said, going to make a W with your hands, okay? When the ball comes down, I'll just show you here. When it comes down, you're going to absorb the ball and flick back up with your fingers, okay? So I'm going to show you now with Luke, but this is a very basic one. It's probably easier than the dig, okay? So I'm going to show you me set the ball.
So I'm just going to throw it to Cody, and Cody's going to try and obviously take us through that with a little example, okay? So as he said, the dig usually goes up quite high, but I'm just going to throw it just to provide more accuracy and more realistic what it actually looks like. Okay, so imagine the ball's come over, it's been served, I've digged it back, and Cody knocks it straight back up. As you can see, same what I just did with them when we were talking about the dig. Okay, as soon as I hit that ball, he was standing in position, okay? He didn't stand still and try and reach back, okay? He just moved his feet. As you said before, as you said, the higher you hit the ball in the dig, the more time your teammate has got to position themselves for the set, okay? And as Cody said, we're just pinching the ball with our fingertips and setting it back up into the air. We're going to do another little go right now. Ready? Ball's coming from the serve. The dig. Again, see that one there? He's come closer to me because it didn't actually go behind. I tried to put the first one a little bit further back so he has to move his feet. And the first one, he's had to take a little step forward. Okay, so it's all about accuracy of the shot, of course, yeah. But we need to make sure we are giving our teammates, when you're in an actual game, the time to position themselves, okay? So as we said, the dig, it's got to go nice and high. There's no point in the dig going to someone's chest because it's going to be really hard for them to set it. Okay, Cody's going to take us through the next one as well.
Yeah, so this last shot is called the spike, okay? So this would be the attacking move that you would use to try and score a point, okay? So the reason being, the other two shots, we're aiming to get the ball nice and high. This shot, we're aiming to traject the ball down to the ground. The reason being, the other team won't be able to return the ball to us, okay? So in volleyball, you score a point when the other team, either the ball lands on their court or they can't return the ball, which means they can't get it back over the net to the opposite team, okay? So this one's a little bit harder. I'm going to throw the ball to Luke. He's going to set it to me, and I'm going to just do it nice and easy because I don't want to fire the ball at Luke, okay? So I'm going to throw it to you, yeah. So as you can see, the ball went from up here down towards Luke's feet. The reason being, if Luke goes to dig the ball back, he has to get very, very low to do so, which makes it harder for him, okay? So that was the 3 basic shot, guys. As I said today, we're going to be using balloons today we're doing this at home. We don't want to wreck stuff. We realize you've only got a shortage of space. So for this, if you are doing it at home, all you need is a 2 by 2 meter space, okay? So you can clear away a little space in your living room. It might work better indoors because we're using balloons. We obviously don't want them to blow away. So we'll need a 2 by 2 meter space, a balloon, and a tennis ball. If you don't have a tennis ball, rolled up socks work just as good. We're only using them for a little warm-up activity, which I'm going to show you now, okay? Then we're going to pass you over to Luke to show you the second warm-up activity. So I'm just going to spin my camera around for you guys, okay? Okay, so as you can see, I've got a tennis ball here. You might have seen us do this with different sports that we were showing you before. I think tennis, we've done this. So this is just wall ball, okay? You can do this in any flat wall in your house, any surface, okay? So you can either do this on your knees, or you can do it on your hunkers, or you can do it standing. So all I want you to do is go from right hand against the wall, catch it with your left, okay? We're going to do this opposite. We're just going to do this for about 30 seconds, guys. The reason being is we just want you to work on your hand-eye coordination before we start trying to get you to keep balloons off the ground, or volleyballs if it was a real session, okay? So aim to do about 30 seconds of this. So it's just to get a bit of movement in the shoulders, your arms, get the blood flowing, okay? So once you feel warm, once you've done that, we're going to show you another little activity that you can do in your living room, seeing that you don't have much space, okay? So I'm just going to spin the camera around again. Luke's going to introduce the activity.
Okay, so as Cody just took us through that first one there, as we said, volleyball mainly is about hand-eye coordination. Okay, so obviously when the ball's coming over to you, you try and keep your eyes on it, as we said before, position your body and make sure you've got the correct technique for whichever shot you're going to try and play. Okay, so Cody's taking us through that volleyball game there. This next one's called Keep It Up. Okay, so this is where our balloons come into play. Okay, so obviously the aim of volleyball, as we said, as Cody said as well with the spike, is you try and make sure the ball, when it comes over to your side, doesn't touch the floor. Okay, so this game can be done on your own, okay, which obviously this is what we're trying to do, so make sure everyone can just try it at home on your own, or you can try and have a little go competitively with brothers, sisters, mums and dads, okay. So what we're going to do is, we've got 3 balloons here. I'm just going to start with 1 balloon, trying to keep it up, okay. I can use the dig, I can use the set, I'm obviously not going to use the spike, so I want to try and keep the ball up, okay. If Cody thinks it's a little bit too easy, he's going to add in another balloon, okay. As soon as he adds another balloon, I've got to then try and keep both up. Okay, as soon as one of them touches the floor, game stops. Okay, so for example, if you were to do this at home, where against a brother or sister or mum or dad, all you do is you get a little stopwatch on someone's phone. Okay, as soon as the balloon, someone hits the balloon to start the stopwatch. Okay, as soon as you start that stopwatch, the time starts, and you've got to try and keep that balloon up for as long as possible. Okay, so as we said, 1, 2, or 3 balloons. If you find it really easy with 1, obviously don't just do 1 because it can get a little bit boring. Try with 2, try with 3. It's obviously, as we said before, it's going to get harder with each one, okay? So if you find that it's too easy, do make it that little bit harder. Okay, so we're going to start off with just the 1 balloon, this yellow balloon here. I'm obviously going to try and keep it up as much as I can. Cody might think it is too easy, so we'll add 1 in and he'll obviously show you guys how we're going to do that. Okay, you ready? So I'm just going to try and keep it up. As we said before, as soon as that balloon's up in the air or the ball's up in the air, I'm just going to move my feet. Every time the balloon moves a different direction, I'm just adjusting my body to make sure I'm underneath it and that I can play the shot that I want to play. Okay, so as we said, it obviously might be a little bit easy with just one balloon, but as we say, again, that's the whole point. We need to make sure we get used to the technique and we know which shots we want to play in certain situations.
Okay, so it seems a bit easy for me what I can see for Luke, so I'm going to add in the second balloon, okay? So Luke, this time once you start. Okay. So for Luke, it's still quite easy. However, he does have to move a little bit more to make sure he's under both balloons, okay? So if you watch his footwork, he's constantly moving to get in positions. So this does look a bit more difficult, but just because it's Luke, I'm just going to add in a third balloon just for fun, okay? So, once you're ready, Luke, third balloon. Okay, now the arms are gone. This is what we want to see at home. So the balloons drop to the floor. That means Luke's turn's done, okay? So that was just 2 little warm-up activities that you can do at home, guys. Now, as you can see, we've got 2 stools here just from FireFit, okay? So this little game is called Sitting Ducks. You can do this in your living room. Doesn't take much space. You will need a partner for it. So you might want to grab your brother or sister, your mum or dad and join in with you. Just going to show you what we're going to do now. So you and your partner are going to sit 2 meters apart. Well, we're going to do 2 meters apart because of coronavirus. You guys can do 1 meter at home just to make it slightly easier for you, okay? So the idea is that your bum is on the floor at all times, okay? So as you can see, we have a yellow cone and behind we have an orange cone. So me and Luke are going to sit at either side of these stools. We just use them for markers for our distance. The idea is to work our way, not lifting our bums off the floor, sliding while volleying the ball to each other with the balloon, and trying to get from this yellow cone right to the orange cone without the balloon hitting the ground. Okay, so that's going to act as our volleyball for this drill. So we're just going to give it a little go and show you. All right.
Okay, in volleyball as well. Okay, just little things to point out here. When you're playing in a game, in a real game, you don't always have to use the dig, set, and the spike. Okay, they are just the 3 main shots that obviously people use generally because the technique is 1, easier, okay, and 2, they're the most effective shots. But of course, if a ball is going over your head, okay, and you haven't got time to move your feet, get back there, and it's too far to stretch, all you can just use one hand and just kind of slap it away and try and get it back on the other side, just to give your team a bit of time. So we don't always have to use the 3 shots. So just in case here you see some wild shots, we're just flinging arms about. That's just because we're trying to keep this game going. We're trying to achieve our objective, which is on our bums, to shoot over to this red cone while keeping the balloon in the air. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Don't always have to be playing the shots that we've just shown. Okay, if you basically keep the ball up anyway. In volleyball, you can use your feet, you can use your head. Okay, but obviously we're just going to try and encourage using our hands.
Okay, so we're going to give it a little go now, guys. We'll make sure the head is nice and hard, right? So as you can see, when the balloon's in the air, that's when we have the time to move, guys, okay? So you want to try and keep it high to give your partner enough time.
Come backwards.
Okay, guys, so as you can see, me and Luke have now reached the orange cone, okay? So if you want to make this harder, guys, what you can do is increase the distance between each other. Or if you want to try and beat the clock, you could add a time limit to it. Or you could increase the distance, but because we're using small areas, I think 2 meters is enough distance to cover, guys. And if you add time, it should make it harder for you. As well as this, we're just going to show you how you can play a little normal volleyball game in the house also, using the stools and the markings that we have, okay? So you're not going to have a volleyball net in the house. 1, because it wouldn't fit, and 2, because they're quite expensive. So like we said, we're using stools and cones. You guys can use chairs from your kitchen table, put them together facing. It's a perfect size net, okay? We don't want to make it too high because we're going to be sitting. You can do this standing, sitting down, on your knees, but I find it's probably easier sitting when you're indoors just to save stuff getting broken. All right, so again, we'll show you this. Same thing, we're going to be 2 meters apart. The idea is if the ball drops on Luke's side, that means it's my point. If I can't return the ball to Luke, also, that's his point, okay? So Luke is going to try and make the balloon bounce on my side, and I want to do the same to his. And the idea is for me to try and keep it off the ground, okay? So it's simple enough game, guys. So I'm sitting down.
So as Cody said as well, as you can see now, he's sat in a box. Okay, so as he said, we're going to try and hit it into the zone. So to save, obviously, just hitting the floor on Cody's side, I could just hit it over there. Okay, so he's got no chance of getting to it. So I've got to make sure it lands in this box. Cody's got to try and make sure it lands in this box on my side. Okay, so if this red balloon hits the floor on my side without me keeping it up, then that is obviously going to be a point to Cody. We'll just play best out of 3 points. Okay, see who wins this round. Okay, so as you say, you guys can play home for as long as you want, as many points as you want. Okay, as many rounds as you want. Challenge members in your family, challenge mums, dads, brothers, aunties, uncles, whatever, anything like that. Okay, so let's give it a go.
So we'll play first to 3?
First to 3, yeah.
Okay, we'll just show a little game. We don't want to bore you watching us. So serve.
Oh,
so Luke played the dirty shot. Use the spike well and hit it to the ground. Okay, so
I've just played the shot that we said we weren't going to play. But there we go. That's a point.
Classic Luke. Okay, so it should be your serve, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
so if you score the point, it's your serve next, okay?
One. So Cody was spike there, as you can see. That's the reason we use a spike. So we haven't really shown properly how and why we use it. But basically, we're just trying to encourage friendly play, as you can see. So the game might end quite quickly. People always see as spikes. Okay, so obviously, if you don't want to use spikes, you're just basically trying to hit the ball, the balloon, sorry, into the space. Okay, so as soon as I see Cody move towards me, my next shot is going to go behind him. Okay, so that's 1-1. Because we will use spikes if we want to, because obviously it might speed the game a little bit if you guys aren't watching for too long. Okay, but this is the winning point anyway. It's best out of 3. So it's 1-1. Cody's serve as well. Ooh. So let's see who can get the win. Oh, it's a big serve. Oh no!
So as you can see, Luke's had to use 2 shots on his side, which means I am the winner today, guys. Okay.
Okay. So, however, though, if you guys are playing this at home and you are playing, for example, 1v1, okay, as you can see there, you don't want to be really hitting the ball to yourself because that might be the balloon to yourself. However, if you are playing, for example, a 2v2, so for example, if brother and sister are playing against the mum and the dad, you can have, for example, 2 touches on your side. So, for example, if me and Cody are on the same team, I could then, when the balloon comes over, I can hit it up to Cody, and then Cody can spike it down, okay? So you can have 2 touches basically when you're on a team. 3 in a proper game, but for a little 2v2, you have 2 touches, so each person can touch it once.
Okay, so basically that was our little coronavirus lockdown volleyball session using balloons and a tennis ball. It's really basic, guys. It's easy for everyone to do. Also, the reason that we're doing it on YouTube is that it's much easier to put on a TV or a laptop screen and to get involved, whereas before I think Instagram might have been a bit harder to watch on your phone. So that's the reason we're on YouTube Live now, guys, and we are going to be putting little updates on our stories, stuff like that, where you're going to see the videos maybe an hour before it's posted, that it's up and coming, so you guys can tune in and watch, okay? Yeah, apart from that, guys, I hope you enjoy the activity at home and with your family and your brothers and sisters.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe.